everyone, welcome back to another 1v1 battle. This is going to be Wood Elves versus the Empire. I know I've been playing a lot of Wood Elves lately, but they're the new race, and I just really enjoy their skirmishing tactics. But I'll get around to playing the other races again at some point. But man, Wood Elves are just a lot of fun right now. They're just a lot of fun. Anyway, for the army composition here, we are being led by the Glade Lord on an Eagle. We also have a Spellslinger of Shadows on the Eagle. We have 2 Hawk Riders. We have 2 Wild Riders back here with shields, a group of Dryads. I'm trying out the new Way Watchers since they have 180 range, and their armor piercing damage, I believe, was also buffed, and is even buffed even more with the Hawker's Precision that they have. Then we also have a group of Deepwood Scouts along with them. And then over here was going to be the main part of my infantry, which is going to be 4 Eternal Guards with shields and another Dryad. For the Empire, we are facing off against an Arch-Lector, which you never really see, so that's pretty cool. We also have a front line of beefed up swordsmen because they have been increased in ranks there, as you can see. We also have 2 great swords on the flanks. We have 3 crossbowmen in total, 2 mortar teams, which I think those can be effective against Wood Elves especially, and then 2 Empire Knights led by 2 Empire Captains. I think that's it. And if you're wondering, this is from some mod I have installed currently that changes the looks of some great swords. I think it's called Unique Empire States, I believe. But it doesn't actually change the stats, so this battle's not going to be any different. But they do look cooler with the cloaks on. So the idea here is to just harass our enemy. We're going to use the Hawk Riders in my plan anyway, is to use the Hawk Riders, which have a lot of base armor piercing damage on the charge, as you can see right there, and use them as the hammer to the anvil of the Wild Riders in cav engagements. Now, we don't really see the cav right now because they are actually hidden in the trees, but seeing this army that we do see right here, I'm like, well, clearly there's more hidden in the trees somewhere. I don't know exactly what yet, but I knew they had something else there. So we're going to use the superior range of the Glade Lord here, the 180 range, to just kind of get some damage on these crossbows. And then we're going to unleash, I believe, with the Way Watchers and the Deepwood Scouts as well. Soon? Understood. Yeah, they're getting into range now. The thing that threatens me here is going to be their crossbows. So I kind of want to take them out. I am going to hit these great swords with the Arrow of Kurnos ability. Now... well, yeah, I'm not even going to say that. So you can see we have unleashed some of the damage here from our Deepwood Scouts and the Way Watchers. I'm trying to kite them back. They do manage to dodge most of the incoming missile fire. What I was going to say, in case you're wondering, is you could be a real dirty player, and you can just use your Glade Lord's Arrow of Kurnos ability. Keep your army way back here. Don't even try to risk getting engagements yet, and just hit this enemy with Arrow of Kurnos abilities. Have them only be able to see your Glade Lord, so these mortar teams can't even hit anything, because they're not going to be able to hit a Flying Lord if you're moving. Ooh, okay. I was about to say, they're not going to be able to hit a Flying Lord. Ooh. They're trying, though. And you can just force the enemy to come to you, even though they have the siege equipment, because they're going to get really annoyed if you just sit there and hit them with an Arrow of Kurnos ability every 90 seconds. But anyway, we have netted this group of crossbows, running my Spellslinger of Shadows in there to put them down, or to try and hold them down. We're going to rout them off, and you see we get some more damage with the Deepwood Scouts and the Way Watchers. And back here we have our Hawk Riders hitting the mortar team position, because I want to try and silence those, because I don't want them hitting into our infantry when I finally advance them. Also, they are getting nearly hits on our Way Watchers, which are very, very expensive. Way Watchers only have 18 ammunition, and man, that's really low. It's probably one of their greatest weaknesses, I guess. So over here, we do have an enemy crossbowman getting into this forest? Question mark? And they are going to deal some damage to the Hawk Riders, so I'm going to pull them out because they do have a lower range than crossbowmen do. And that mortar team is still trying to hit our Glade Lord. I'm not sure if they've actually got a hit off yet. And I'm still just kind of pecking off the crossbowmen at this point. You can see we have had our Wild Riders go over to this flank, because I'm trying to get like a surround and pressure my enemy and try to hit them at multiple sides to test their micro ability. At once. Which my micro ability isn't all that amazing either, but at least if I'm on the attack, I seem to do better than on the defense for micromanaging multiple parts of the army. So these crossbows are still chasing Hawk Riders. That's okay. We have some damage on them, but that's not too bad. Also, apparently the mortar teams are attacking them. Now, what I didn't think about was the Empire Cav being here. I thought they were in here. We didn't really scout them out. At least I don't think I did. Or if I did, I missed it. And so then they're going to charge out from the woods. I'm like, well, I guess we got to take this. So I don't really get a charge order off those Wild Riders. And I'm going to try and get our Hawk Riders over here. And they're going to be doing rear charges on these Imperial Knights. Meanwhile, I think I'm going to just do more skirmishing with the Deepwood Scouts that are over here and the Way Watchers, which are rolling in the back. And we're pulling off our infantry out of the forest to will threaten the enemy's front line. So here comes the second Empire Knight, and we're going to do a rear charge on these Knights with the Hawks. And you can see they are going to just melt under all that armor-piercing damage. So again, Hawks are the hammer to the Wild Riders' anvil here. And we're going to pull out, and we're going to go around, and we're going to do it again. Meanwhile, we're just back here hitting the crossbowmen still. Now, the Weight Watchers are armor piercers, so they're mostly used for the greatswords, and I am moving them into position to hit the greatswords. But on their way in, they were hitting the crossbowmen just because I had them on fire at will. So yeah, now with the second charge into the second Empire Knights, you can see they are also starting to crumble. And just a one-on-one engagement against Wild Riders, I believe Empire Knights will still lose, but I think they trade favorably if you do not support the Wild Rider group against them, just because they're very heavy armor. I'm almost positive they lose, though, one-on-one. But again, they do a lot of damage to the Wild Riders in return. So you can see we are going to rout off both of the Cav at this point. We're dealing a massive amount of damage to the one Empire Captain over here, almost routing the second one, but not quite, which is unfortunate. And since we have units all over the place, this Empire Captain, I wanted him to rout off the field this way, but he's being threatened by behind him, so he's kind of going off here. Crossbowman group getting pulled over close to threaten our Spell Slinger over here, and our Weight Watchers, which at this point, my view is kind of like this, so they're a little off screen. And they're getting hit by the mortar teams, which I did not notice. And they're also going to be getting hit by this crossbowman, I believe, after we rout them off after this charge. The second Hawk Rider is going to be getting into those mortar teams. We have our Deep Wood Scouts also near the front line getting into the mortar teams as well. And then the front line is going against the enemy's front line. But they are supported by the Arch Lector. And his buffs, 71 melee attack, 68 melee attack. Like, they're actually chewing through our Eternal Guard. I was expecting them to hold a long time, but I was not accounting for the amount of buffs that the Arch Lector would give them. And they are also already buffed because they've been spent on ranks. So they actually crush our Eternal Guard pretty quickly. In a normal situation, well, in a situation where there wasn't an Arch Lector, we would have been able to hold the line much longer. And by the time I had all this micromanaged and we were routing off these two mortar teams, I'm getting into these crossbowmen, I was like, okay, how's my front line doing? Oh shit, my front line's doing terrible. So I'm trying to support them with the Wild Riders by rear charging these swordsmen, saving our Dryads or what remains of them. Running away our Deep Wood Scouts from the Arch Lector. And yeah, our Spearmen are kind of taking a beating over here. Then over here we have another Spearman engaged with the very buffed up swordsman. Again, they're doing slightly better because these swordsmen are not buffed by the Arch Lector. And we were just trying to crush these great swords, doing cycle charges on them, and then we're going to get out. Weight Watchers are now firing into the great swords. Not really doing that much damage. And again, oh, there goes the Pit of Shades on the second great sword group. It does do decent damage. Like, this is a 950 cost unit. That's not bad. That's not bad. But by this point, you can see our Hawk Riders have actually taken a lot of damage, but that's okay. We're going to rear charge these great swords who are engaged with the Eternal Guard to try and rout them. Now they have a little bit more. I'm sorry, these are swordsmen. Oh, I'm sorry, swordsmen, not great swords. The great swords are over here. Dryads into the almost an Empire Captain. The other Empire Captain, I think, is joining the Arch Lector, I believe. Where's the Arch Lector? Oh, he's over here. Well, you can see they have their leadership spread out through most of the area. Trying to hit these great swords with the arrow chrono stability, but it does not really connect. And again, I was not noticing my Weight Watchers getting crushed by these crossbowmen because I was doing like this. So I didn't even see them, and I wasn't paying attention to the unit cards, so they're actually going to get crushed by these crossbowmen. But they did spend almost all of their ammunition except for 3 shots. Going to net these great swords in place, and I believe we're going to do a rear charge? Or we're just going to hit them with the Deep Wood Scouts, can't remember. Spell Slinger, I did try to do a charge here. She has a decent attack with the charge bonus, but she is not faring well against the Empire Captain. I thought she could finish them off pretty quickly. There we go. Deep Wood Scouts trying to get some shots into these great swords. Trying to net them in place, keep them away from what remains of my Eternal Guard, and doing cycle charges. Now, after I had destroyed the Empire's Cav like that, I gotta admit, I got pretty cocky. And I laxed my micromanaging skills, so they're even worse than they normally are. And here I'm starting to pay for it because I'm making silly mistakes. So I'm like, I destroyed their Cav, this is going to be easy. We're just going to do charges from the skies. But like, with that Arch Lector though, this army is a little bit more resistant. And so I'm starting to lose a lot of my forces. And I'm like, oh no, this battle isn't done at all. And that's when I noticed my Weight Watchers were routing off. I'm like, wait, what happened to my Weight Watchers? I was like, oh no, crossbows, what happened to my Weight Watchers? Because again, I got cocky at this point. Hey look, it happens. So I am paying for it right now because most of my forces are now in tatters. We have both Empire Captains nearly dead, but still very much alive. And I was trying my best not to just hero snipe an Arch Lector because it's kind of easy to do that, especially when you have all this armor piercing. And hero sniping is a huge part of this game, but I just didn't do it this time. Maybe I should have, and this battle would have been over a long time ago because they wouldn't have had the Archlector there. But I don't know. Sometimes the hero snipe, sometimes it don't. Depends on what I'm fighting. But you can see right here, I'm actually trying to take out most of their army. But I think at this point, I'm going to try and finish off these Empire captains. And there we go. Meanwhile, the rest of my army is just kind of in tatters. We have a group over here. I think they're going to come back from routing. We have a group over here, some Wild Riders. This Spell Singer is chasing off a group of crossbowmen, I believe, from the battlefield. And then we have some infantry left, and the Empire has still some great swords, which are decently health. Swordsman group, their captains, their Archlector. I should say captain. We actually managed to rout off the other captain, I think. That's him right here. Or did we kill him? I guess we killed him. But they still also have a full health Archlector, which is pretty scary. Deepwood Scouts at this point have used all their ammunition, and they're just being chased. Great swords are kind of separated. I think we're going to charge the great swords in the back. Or I may just be using the ammunition on my Hawk Riders. Because I've been using them as like a melee flying cap through most of this battle and not having them kind of stay in place and use their ammunition. So right now they're kind of weakened, so I'm like, maybe we should just put a couple shots into these people. But yeah, you can see my army is kind of in tatters, but we have dealt a lot of damage to the Empire player. But a full health Archlector with all their buffs is pretty scary. We're going to let our Deepwood Scouts fight it out here as we just pelt the great swords and the captains in the back with our Hawk Riders. My Glade Lord, I believe, yes, is out of ammunition, has long been. Here we have a net on the Empire Captain, while the rest of the forces are going to be chasing off my routing Deepwood Scouts. They're going to be separated, and I believe we come in for a charge. At this point, we got to play very careful, so that means picking off one target at a time. So here we go, we're going to charge this Empire Captain because they were left behind as these forces are chasing off the Deepwood Scouts. Actually, I'm not sure where they're going because this guy's kind of going off to the Dryads. I'm not sure. But we're going to isolate this Captain, and we are going to, I believe, murder him. Murder him very viciously with a bunch of talons and beaks. Maybe not. Maybe just rout him off the field. Does he come back? I can't remember. We'll find out. In any case, we managed to at least break him temporarily and deal a lot of damage. Kind of surprised we didn't kill him though. So yeah, not much left on either side. We do have this crossbow unit that has come back. They are decently health, and we're going to have to try and deal with that now. Because that is a threat to what remains of our Hawk Riders. A little more damage to the Hawk Riders, and they could potentially just break. Like, their leadership is not exactly that high right now. That was a very weird arrow of Colonel's ability, but I'll take it. That looked really strange. Great Swords have been separated from the Archlector, who's pulling back towards their, I believe, crossbowmen to try and keep them protected, thinking that maybe I would go after them. And it's a good thought. I probably would go after them, but he got separated from the Great Swords, so we are going to do a charge with our hero and our Lord, pulling in our Eternal Guard to try and rout these guys off, because now they don't have the buffs from the Archlector. I believe I'm going to try and pull my army to around here for like a final engagement is what my thoughts were.
Going quickly. Very well. They will die.
And there we go. We have routed out the Great Swords because the Archlector pulled back to protect the crossbowmen. Not sure why they never put this mortar team back on the mortars. They're still up. I guess the player just didn't think about it. But you can easily just put your team back on their siege engines. So you can see here, I believe I'm just trying to harass these routing units because they haven't broken, or they haven't routed. They are just in a broken stance. So that means they could come back. Or shattered. That's it. I think that's the word. They shattered. That's what I'm trying to get them to do. Over here, I'm going to be like, oh, well, this is not good. So I'm going to try and fly over these crossbowmen really quickly to get behind them. I'm not sure why I flew directly at the crossbowmen here. Maybe they were in stalk mode or hiding from me in the trees. I'm not sure. But they did do one salvo against these Hawk Riders, so they are temporarily routing. I'm trying to maintain a range from them, get away from them, as we continue to chase off their other routing units here. Still a minute left. Most of my forces are on the edge of breaking. Doing more dodge shots here on the crossbowmen. At least we're wasting our ammunition here. Another arrow of Colonel's ability. Now we're going to hit the Archlector, whose leadership is still very high considering how much of his army is destroyed. Oh, potion toughness. So now this Archlector is marching over towards our Eternal Guard and leaving the crossbowmen unprotected. So we're going to charge into them. This is a very long battle.
Attack!
Taking a lot of damage to these crossbows. Here come our spell singer, who's been almost dead for like most of this battle. So we're gonna break them. So they are now routing.
At once!
And I think it's at this point that the enemy is going to concede. They don't lose outright, but I believe they do concede.
Crush them!
And I see why. I mean, we have the arrow of critical stability. We have the air superiority. We can do charges from above. So we were probably going to win at this point because we've been just picking off the units one at a time and not accepting like an actual full hard engagement on their lord and whoever he was around. Because that's how I had to play it, because my forces were almost shattered. So I had to isolate and destroy units here and there. And since I had control of the skies and I wasn't really threatened, it allowed me to do that. So yeah, I got a little cocky in the middle of that fight when I destroyed those Empire Knights, and I made a lot of micro mistakes at that point because I got really lax. I'm like, okay, let's just finish this off. But no, that player definitely gave me a good fight and showed me that I should always be at 100%, because those Weight Watchers, luckily they spent most of their ammunition, but they got crushed by a 550 unit, and they're 1100, you know, so this micro there. But anyway, good game to my opponent. That was a very long fight. To Borgia DM. Also, props to bringing the Arch Lector. You never see that guy. Okay, so for me, 106 kills on the Glade Lord is really great. Spell Singer 35 doing a lot of work. The Eternal Guard still did okay, but whew, they took a beating against that Swordsman line buffed up by the Arch Lector. Dryads did alright. Deepwood Scouts and Weight Watchers, again, both, like this one actually used all of its ammunition. Only getting 29 kills is not that great. I maybe was hitting shielded units from the front, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I was. Weight Watchers were focusing down the crossbowmen and in the great swords. Only 26 kills is not that great. But I did misuse them there towards the end anyway, so that's probably on me. Wild Riders, 141 kills. Amazing. These units are so good, especially if you support them correctly. And then the Hawk Riders got a decent amount of kills as well. So the Hammer and Anvil tactic works with the Wild Riders and the Hawk Riders pretty well, because they have problems dealing with heavy armor. These guys don't. So you just charge them in, and then these guys charge in the back, and then boom, bada boom. That's it. For Borgia here, 25 kills. The Arch Lector is pretty good. Empire Captains did really well. The Swordsman line did exceptionally well. Great Swords did mostly okay. But look at that, 93 kills in that Swordsman unit. Woo! Crossbowman unit netting 40 kills is pretty good. These ones got shut down. Mortar teams did some damage. Empire Knights, hey, you know, 17 kills against Wild Riders is not bad. They're a very powerful force to be feared, so getting any damage on them is good, but still they kind of got crushed by the Hawk Riders coming in the back. Again, Swordsman did well, and yeah, the Great Swords. So, again, good game to Borgia. I hope you enjoyed that one, and let's just watch a cinematic view of that battle. Oh, my poor Wild Riders don't know what's waiting for them in the trees, even though they're right there. Run! That was a nice surprise charge there. And then, much like in Lord of the Rings, we had to wait for the Eagles to arrive and save us. Or I guess Hawks in this case. Yeah, we'll just call them Eagles, though, for this. For the reference. Oh, right there I netted the, or not net, but I hit the Empire Captain with the Hex from the Spell Singer to weaken his melee and a defense, I believe. Man, those poor knights. If I had only finished the job here and killed both these Empire Captains, oh, that could have saved me a lot of grief in the future. But I pulled out to try and kill these crossbowmen over here instead. The Arch Lector looks so cool. Giant book on the back. Dual hammers. That's basically me on a Saturday morning. Woo! Wild Riders. Whoops.
Look out! Spellcaster!
Dryads against Great Swords. Not a favorable matchup for them. God, Wild Riders is so cool. Ooh! Ooh! I don't know if you saw that or not, but that Archlector came in with the... Wait, was it the Archlector or the Captain? I guess the Captain? Came in and just knocked a Wild Rider right off the mountain. He went flying over here. Holy shit. That looked... Or maybe it was an Eternal Guard. Maybe that's what it was. Anyway, that looked brutal. I should have charged the Great Swords with the Wild Riders right there.
Sigma exalted!
That Archlector, man, did some work. Ah, these damn captains. All these bodies around. Oh my god. Many elves died for this victory. Where's your arm at? Where's your arm at?
Enemy magic!
Wait, where's your Warhammer?
The winds rise!
What the hell? It like disappeared. Oh, it's back.
Beware the wizard!
Swiftly!
Defend the flank!
Oh, yeah, this is when my Depot Scouts get murdered. Oddly enough, though, they still do have that, like, fire and arrow and melee combat, even without ammunition. So I'm guessing when they're firing in melee, it's not actually a ranged attack. It's just the animation for their melee? Let's see if we can see it here somewhere. So I remember spotting it when I was actually playing this game. Unless I'm crazy, I swear I saw one of these guys fire their bow in melee. It may have happened, I just missed it this past, but I'm pretty sure that happened at some point. And they were out of ammunition, which is why I thought that was odd. Man, this poor dude being left behind. How did you not die immediately?
Onward! Right away!
Lucky Empire Captain.
Quickly!
And that's kind of most of the battle, really. I guess we'll just see the charge and the great swords. That very weird point-blank arrow of Kurnos. Woo! That great sword didn't know that they signed up for a ride. Neither did that one. God, these animations are so cool. And then they come down and just like beak, or they put their beak on this dude's head and crushed it. Man, so cool.
Hecate honors us!
Do it again. Pick someone up. I love their walking animation. Just looks so funny. I mean, they're a bird.
It will destroy them!
It just looks so cool. Makes you laugh. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for the cinematic view, everybody. Not much else happens. God, these guys had a bad day.
Magic!
Yeesh. Aw, they got to hold each other in the end. A forbidden love between Wood Elf and human. Whew. Endless court, jeez.
Enemy wizard spotted!
These guys really knew how to party, let me tell you. They're all in the fort drunk. Listen, they're not dead. They drink too much. Yeah, they'll wake up in the morning. Severe headaches, some of them.
Beware the wizard!
Anyway, that's it for this episode, everybody. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you all in the next one. Take care.
Casting spells!
I just want to see if she does that animation again. Real quick. Take someone on a flight. Take someone on a flight. You disappointed me for the last time, Glade Lord. Looks so cool, though. Alright, take care, everybody. For real this time.